cry in Conversation Castle.
Yeah, so since that was a practice skirmish, like technically that all of the latter half of the session doesn't kind of need to be watched. We should probably like slap a hey, this is an optional thing prior to that.
So it really just us
I can
pretend
talk about
learning how to fucking play
discussion.
this thing.
That was funny, though.
I mean,
People at home are going to be rolling out of their chair.
Just
All
put on
10 of
a.
them.
We don't. Let's just put on a for this entire segment. We don't know the rules.
They
So
need
the
to
rules are
find the
weird.
Baja.
We'll just have that on the screen at all time, at the bottom of the screen.
No,
We don't
yeah,
know
it's
the
like-
rules.
No, the rules are the rule book is really hard to understand.
The
and we're
rule
unsure-
book
and we're-
is hard to understand, and it's stupid.
I mean, I was trying to find anything about the war rulebook, and I didn't find anything.
All I saw was people on Reddit complaining about it.
Yeah, essentially that. Yeah.
Where did we get that? What have you done, Steve?
I mean, it looks fun, and like it could be.
It's fine,
With all
but we
So-
just got lots of bad rules.
All
It-
of the difficulties aside, I did have fun. I will say that.
Yeah.
so okay, here's the thing. When I was hearing about this, like I follow Matthew Colville, and I had been seeing like all of his like shenanigans that he was coming out with, and I backed the Strongholds and Followers, and this is like a supplementary to Strongholds and Followers that expands on the large scale warfare and actually has a legitimate system that isn't me running 100 different NPCs.
Yeah.
This gives you control of a bunch of units, but the numbers for the units are arbitrary. So that, you know, is it 6 people? Is it 100 people? I don't know, and I don't really care. Depending on the ratio of how many new units you have and how many units they have, you'll be able to make your specialized units, upgrade them, and they will most likely have more generic units, unless you're fighting, I don't know, the Human Kingdom or something. Don't fight the Human Kingdom. It very much is a like I thought it would be a lot more cromulent, and I was expecting more cut and dry rules instead of half of the paragraph being fluff and the other half of the paragraph beating around the bush for what these roles need to be. And like, I understand wanting to be flowery with it, but a good rule book cuts some of the bullshit and
And
gives
just gets
you
to the point. Just gets to the
yes. Pathfinder is referred to as Mathfinder, where you have fucking attack matrices and bullshit like that. And you want to know what? I can look at that fucking chart and know what it means. It doesn't give me a fruity explanation next to every number. And, like, it very much just fucking cut a lot of the bullshit. You want the fast and dry rules? Here they are. That's what I want. And, like, all of the variety of traits definitely could be sorted a bit better. It's the entire warfare section is just this awful hodgepodge that I swear to God I'm gonna have to copy and paste so much of it. And I'm looking at like the warlock martial advantages.
Yeah, they kind of.
I fucking hate them. Like
I was looking at them like, okay, the only one I could find. Okay, the two of them involve like a theory of me having this. Just, I guess I have an item now, or I have to make an item to even
yeah.
have it,
I was
or I
wondering
guess just
about-
get it. And then the last one is I need heavy armor, and I guess I could get that, but
And then there is like the
I see other people's, and it's like, oh, you just get this for free, or like, oh, this one sort of gets it, but like,
And my lack of ability to summon.
Believe it or not, on my spell sheet, I had access to literally the starting spell. That's all I had. The other two were locked behind some certain types of units. And
yes,
the other one, I needed a healing wand. So I had literally only one of them.
yeah, so let me just kind of mention one thing. So when you're going through the Kingdom and Warfare like book, you are supposed to start domain size 1 and not have a ton of units. So like you weren't really supposed to, like, when you're starting out, you would have one of your 2 abilities most likely. But what I will say is I'm gonna look at some of these and just fucking throw half of this shit out the window, because all of these wands and scrolls, they're super vague, and it's like, okay, where the fuck are you supposed to get a wand of healing? I don't think that's a 5e item. So it like I'm gonna reflavor some of this, and I'm probably gonna, make the first level warlock ability spell sniper, where you can just function as an artillery. That is just how it is. You can function as an artillery, as well as, get into melee combat if you want. So wand of acid pool. No, let's just fucking like. I'll say it's some like Hadar bullshit where you can just like X a space on the map and you no longer can walk through that space, and walking near that space damages you. Like that's a decent choice.
That is warlock shit.
Yeah, like that, warlocks aren't known for casting tons of spells off scrolls and using wands. No, that's wizard.
Warlock is. I have a couple of these, but they're all classified as war crimes. in
Yeah,
their
why
own
does the
right.
cleric need a wand?
Each one of these is
Okay.
technically a war crime. But
Wands of healing, that's more of a like Pathfinder 3.5 and even like first and second edition thing. Like healing wands are not a huge thing in 5e, and I'm probably just going to hang on. Okay. So oh my god, it's just as a fucking action. So the thing that it says with wands, wands can be used every round. So
That's true, but then again,
That's-
I think there's ways to limit that.
So what I think would be a better, is just like aura of healing, and as an action, you can, I would say, like 1 plus domain size. You can do this. You can target yourself or a allied adjacent unit and do that 1d4 on.
I think potentially just have to remake them, because like some of them are cool. Like the ranger one, okay, that makes sense. For the first
Yeah.
one, okay, cool.
The
Some of the other ones,
Divine
like,
Rally,
okay, cool. And then
Divine
like,
Rally's
okay, here's an item.
well.
It legitimately, some of them are like, they make sense. The like, rogues legitimately have use magic device built into the class, and wow, weird, there's a distinct lack of any scrolls or anything, and I'm not digging it, and I will 100% say, if you guys want to just toss out some ideas of like this, that, the other thing, just shoot me a message in the DMs or post it in the war chat, and I'll go ahead and like review it, see if we can get it balanced a bit, and then just like swap shit out, because so much of it is just not to my taste, but that's kind of a 5e thing, and it was kind of the vague impression of the book of, here's some loose rules, go ahead and make it your own. And
Like, I like
Go
the
on.
I think the ranger one gives the best idea of like
Mhm.
a vague theme you could make
Actually,
them on.
The cleric one's even more confusing than I think, because Divine Rally is essentially a revive, but you don't need an item for that, unlike the Wand of Healing, which is, just healing.
Yeah.
And it also
yeah.
buffs your stats. Why is Divine Rally a much better move than Wand of Healing, and yet Wand of Healing, you need the item for it? That's
weird.
really busted. Like the
It's just
revive
weird. It's like,
is
why would
somehow
it?
cheaper than just the healing item.
So, the Divine Rally specifically needs a broken unit.
You guys be dead.
True.
Yeah, they have to be at 0, and then you have to
You know,
you
Paladin
have to
has
pass
something
that
similar.
morale. So,
That is true.
like Divine Rally, I would say that's fair. The Wand of
Yeah.
Healing, it's supposed to be like, oh, here's your extra ability, but it's locked behind an item. And since you're already at domain size 2 and should have, also have a training accessible to you, which upgrading your units with the various armors, that's something that essentially you have to buy it, which, you have to buy your second level domain ability. That's weird, especially since you had to buy your first one. So I would say like most of these things that you need to buy, like how about fuck that? I'm just gonna change them for you, and we can I can sprinkle the other items in as potential loot rewards or things you can buy later, where, it's not implied that you fucking walk to the town square and it's like, oh, here's a scroll of torrential rain. No. Just no. Like, sure, or Zero would probably be able to give you that, but it's just, like, it's one of those, like, weirdly put in thing, like, in first edition when a fighter hits, like, level 6, it's just like, suddenly you have a keep.
I
mean,
a castle just spawned behind me.
looking at Paladin, it's kind of, I think it is fine as is. The Scroll of Clarity could really just be reflavored as, you just use some of your divine magic to heal people rather than you whip out this scroll.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole Paladin thing, like, the abilities at this point, it is like, you have Righteous, it's about, when you get diminished, you get to basically get a boost on your next attack if you pass the morale test. When you're saying about broken units, that like get a bonus on basically putting back together broken units, yada yada. So I mean, like, it makes sense for the Paladin to basically be the I guess like rally the troops type.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Troping, so I think as far as the features, it's fine. I mean, Cleric is sort of built kind of similarly, I think. Is the Divine... The first feature is different, but it's sort of similar.
It's like in the same ballpark of what it's doing. Like, oh, you have broken, you can bring them back with this much, and also this kind of buff.
I also have a feature like that. It brings it back and lets me like immediately redeploy, as long as they haven't been. Oh, it's only like a once,
Yeah.
so I can't just recycle forever. But these are some interesting rules that could use some workshopping. But
Oh yeah, for sure. That was one of those things that, like, I was trying to understand this prior to getting the game running, and now you can understand why I was having a hard time and needing to read a ton. But regardless, rules aside, we'll talk about that later. To kind of go through the session, like, I can understand if this wasn't the best session, because the main course that I wanted to get to was the, like, testing out this rule set.
No, it's fine.
And getting the build up for that. And you guys are tacking the checking the boxes down the list. This was essentially like the first day you went through. I'll say this is probably like a portion of the second day. And you can still, second day, go through some stuff.
Good, I played too.
The enemies aren't going to be showing up terribly immediately. There is a timeline, and depending on what you guys do, you know, if you want to kick the fucking hornet's nest, then yeah, go for it. They'll invade you sooner. But depending on the actions you guys choose, and like more or less what is best for the story, the enemy will come.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, because you're already at bad odds, I'm not going to preemptively have the enemy attack and just crush the shit out of you, because that wouldn't be a good story.
If I may, and I want you to just type this to me. What are the implications of the message I sent?
So, I cannot give you a response at this moment. It will be the response will be obvious in the coming sessions. I'll say that.
Okay.
In the following session, agenda, bring Nicholas along for the little meeting.
Honestly, I'm kind of sad that you guys it's like, oh yeah, let's do all this training, and then your fucking dice just fucked you the entire time.
Yes.
And
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That is
I-
not
Yeah.
normal!
I
is
feel like a +1
normal.
on its own. Okay, so normally you get proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your damage, and it's like, okay, so you got like a +1 and maybe another +1, so you got like a +2 minimum or whatever. So it's like, okay, you can see for Orvid's like melee parties rolls, it's like, okay, it looks okay, and then
It's
if you
just,
got
like
then the dice rolls just fuck you over harder
think
because you got the
the
+1.
dice rolls have been further like almost canonizing the
How
just
bad everyone is.
how shit the troops are.
Yeah.
how, like, they're
Initiative.
damn near illiterate.
There's
Like
one.
almost.
2,
like-
3.
Actually, Dick just got
4,
one like
5,
every single roll
6,
besides a very few.
7.
Nice.
Yeah.
I count 7 natural ones, and those are just the ones that were in red.
Nice. So yeah, like even
The
when you
dice
guys
stick
were
just
doing,
over there.
I think Steve rolled a couple as well.
yes, when you got like prior to the fight, even you guys were just like, yeah, let's do like this well thought out, like, oh yeah, this makes sense that this would work, and then it's the dice are like, hey buddy, chum, pal, fuck you, and just roll shit for you.
That was when I knew.
And
Okay, fuck it, Saver sucks spell.
Well, you know why I did
Yeah.
that.
no, I don't.
Well, because Eric never rolled our luck.
Yeah, that
Yeah, that's
happened.
what you forgot. I've been
We-
saying you forgot something.
You would have rolled a nat 1, and then we all would have went, oh no, and then the session would have just made sense, but
Yeah.
we missed that lucky roll. But anyway,
We didn't have the luck forecast, Eric. I'm sorry.
yeah, so this definitely was an atypical session, but it gave everyone the insight for what the upcoming battles are going to be,
Yeah.
and definitely like
Wow.
See, now it
Yeah.
makes
Roll is
sense.
still
Now
a
everything
It all
four.
makes sense now.
hmm So, I'm probably gonna give everyone, I want to say maybe like 4 units each, and you get to more or less prep. I'll say certainly everyone will have a specialty unit. The city watch is available. Whomever wants to, pick whatever guards. So Zach will have his personal guard. There's the warlock unit, the scouts. There'll be more archers, and
I want a group specifically called the Strategic Service, and that's Sandra's personal group.
Okay.
I don't know what they're doing on the open battlefield, but okay.
The hand-picked 7 people that barely share language.
We're slowly overcoming it. Slowly.
It's hard to strategize when you're always getting ones.
Mm-hmm.
That too.
Yeah.
But yeah, now that everyone has at least that experience under their belt,
That taste.
yes. So essentially, the baseline like levy unit that is just untrained peasant. It's like zeros across the board. Oh no, even worse than that. They take a minus. So their attack roll has a +0. Their power has a -1. Defense is -2. Morale is -2, and command is -1. And so they are shittier than shitty. Regular units that are just regular trained fighters, that's essentially the orc infantry that you have. They have zeros across the board, but because you have your racial adjustments, you have slightly more than that. Now you can improve your unit's equipment. So if you just really invest in a unit and make them super heavy, they get +6 to power, +6 to toughness, and +1 to damage. And that just decks them out in knight ass armor and allows them to more or less kick shit when you're doing 2 damage. By the way, I would like to point out, if you get super heavy hog riders, because they already have that 2 damage, then it would be 3 damage. So you legitimately roll to hit. If you hit them, then you can roll with a additional +3 on your power to do 4 damage in one attack.
Dang.
Yeah. So, food for thought. There are ways of breaking this, and I 100% expect you to, look into what traits that you would like, what maneuvers you want to learn, and if you build a cohesive unit, then you will stand a really good chance for what's to come.
I want to invest all my points into my warlock boys.
I'm working on trying to get a hold of a sabotage crew, but I don't think that that's gonna be a battlefield unit.
Yeah, wouldn't that be my department?
I'm trying to search for. This would be under mercenary work, technically.
Yeah, less of you're directly doing it, more we're trying to outsource it, right?
Orvid's gonna try to find some.
I have to get going now.
Yeah.
Okay, have a good night,
Yeah.
Eric.
I need to leave.
You guys too.
Have a good night.
Yeah, but Orvid's trying to find some quote-unquote professional help.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I also need to get to bed. I have work in 6 hours. So,
Likewise.
Then let's bring
Alright.
an end to Conversation Castle. We'll see
Well,
you
Consider
guys.
what we talked about. Yeah.
everyone have a good time. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Nope.
Had
This
a good
session was rough.
Yep.
I'll
Dice
try
were,
thinking of stuff for my units.
dice were funny bad, but that's no criticism on the DMing.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
yeah.
criticism on Foundry
The
Virtual
dice.
Tabletop
Matt
and its
Koval.
weighted dice.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's been good.
Oh,
Oh
I got
yeah.
warlock babies.
I totally forgot that I started session by linking Pickle Johnny Test and adding Hunter.
Why did you do that?
It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Conversation Castle is over. We'll
Bye.
see you guys next weekend.